Hey guys, welcome to the Wallabies podcast presented to you by Betcha. Here's a little sample of what's to come in this episode.
I always felt like for me to do well, I always had to work really hard. Got a bit tunnel visioned and didn't really have much else going on. All I wanted to do was, try and get better at footy, and it sounds like a good thing, but it definitely can get past a point where it's not beneficial for you as an individual. Had the opportunity to go to North Harbour and mate, had an absolute blast. And it was just a really relaxed environment. I think the coaching group at North Harbour really gave me the confidence and the environment to flourish. And, my phone's sitting there and it's like, just says Joe Schmidt calling me, and he looks at me and he's like that. Lucky enough to get a game off the bench, and didn't go to plan exactly. Got knocked out after 2.5 minutes.
That's right.
But, I got my Wallabies cap, and, no one can really take that away from me.
What a lad, what a lad, what a lad, what an absolute lad.
Well, lad, today I'm joined by one of the most exciting young playmakers in Australian rugby, a Sydney product who optimises everything we love about the Aussies. He's tough, competitive, and has a skill set to match. Having racked up a whopping 50-plus Super Rugby caps and over 250 points during his 4 years at the Waratahs, where he steered the side around the park with composure well beyond his years. In 2024, he headed across the Tasman to North Harbour and absolutely filled his boots, finishing the NPC as the leading point scorer with 137 points in just 10 games, which included 33 in one outing. And that form did not go unnoticed. Later that year, he made his Wallabies Test debut in Dublin against Ireland, officially stepping onto the international stage and putting himself firmly into the conversation as one of Australia's key tens moving forward. Now, with the recent move to the Brumbies, the future of this great man looks to be on the right path. And on top of all that, according to the North Harbour community, he is also a massive, massive lad and one of New Zealand's favourites. It is, of course, the great Tane Edmed. Welcome, mate.
Thank you. That is an unreal intro.
Long.
Very flattered. But yeah, good to be on.
Did I get your name right, or was it Tane on this side of the world?
Mate, it's once I touch down in New Zealand, I think it's Tane. So I'm happy. That's all right. But Tane in Sydney and Australia, and then Tane over here.
How did the Tane nickname come along?
Mate, people have always kind of, when I was in Australia, even kind of got it wrong and said Tane. And then obviously coming over for NPC, a lot of the boys call me Tane, and then Rua Tupoki.
Oh, yeah.
Started calling me Tane Mahuda. And then it just caught on, and then all the boys started calling me that, and then somehow the commentators started calling me that, and then apparently that was my name.
Because a lot of people even thought you were Māori.
Yeah, correct. Because got the red hair and a little bit of a tan complexion, I guess, for a redhead, and they thought I was Māori.
And your similarity was the Ehi West.
Yeah.
Well, Paul Tito.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, how good! But man, what a journey! Like, I remember messaging you. Must have been about 4 years ago. To come on the podcast was one thing. I know you said you felt like you didn't have much of a story then, but the other thing was to try and get you to Tasman at the time. Like, they were looking for a 10. So it was awesome to see you get your NPC gig that you were keen for at the time.
Yeah.
It all sort of paved out, and the way that you went on to play international off the back of it was pretty inspiring.
Yeah. No, it was mate, the NPC was awesome, and always something that I was keen to do, even for just development wise. And you see, when you shot me a text, I probably just things didn't quite work out for whatever reason, and then had the opportunity to go to North Harbour and mate, had an absolute blast. Absolute blast.
What did you find different about it up there?
It's hard to compare, because I wouldn't say it's kind of a semi-professional environment, I guess, a little bit. Just for 3 or 4 months of the year, it's full time. But it's definitely treated that way, and the social side of it's a lot of fun. I think it opened my eyes a little bit to that connection piece, I guess, off the field. Definitely was awesome. And then the rugby was just, NBC's free flowing, and it's so fun to play, and I assume it's really good to watch. And the team I was in, the talent that we had in some of the backs was just, it's so good to play with.
Yeah, was there anyone who impressed you, like, maybe hadn't seen much of, or you weren't too sure about, and you got over and you're like, man, he is going?
Yeah, I mean, we had a good chat in the car on the way here, but, Sean Stevenson for me was probably one of the most talented players I've seen. Just the natural talent that he had, and the skill, the speed was unbelievable to play with. And then our back three was just completely stacked. Like Cade Banks, Moses Leo. I think Moses Leo, Cade Banks, and Sean Stevenson had the top 3 line breaks in the comp. 1, 2, 3, all in one team.
Someone set them up well there, mate.
No, I wouldn't say that. I didn't give them. They did their own thing there. And then, then we had Mark Talia come back for a game, and we had Sofai Marker, who's playing New Zealand Sevens. Like, just that back line and that team were just such good lads, and it was great.
Yeah, and you would have had Bryn Hall inside you,
Bryn Hall.
A lot of the fans of the show will be well aware of him, but what a legend he is.
Oh, mate, he was such a great man. Taught me a lot on the field and a lot off the field as well. But he was so good for me, and unfortunately we couldn't get him to 100 games. North Harbour finished on 99, which actually was, for me, a bit of a sigh of relief because I didn't have to do the haka. Thank God. I did have to learn that, but didn't have to do the haka because if he plays 100, you got to do it for the milestones. I would have stood right at the back. But yeah, Brinner was so good for me to learn off, and just, I mean, he's kind of been through it all, and he's kind of at the end of his career, I guess, a little bit, and had so much to teach me about how to approach things and how to go about things. But yeah, he was an unreal leader for us.
Yeah. Did you ever have to do the haka?
I had to learn it, which was just as bad because all the new boys got to go up the front, and it was a really awkward experience for me, but I tried my best.
That's when they realised you weren't moulded.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, did a couple of lessons. I think we did 3. But yeah, you only have to kind of bring it out when there's certain milestone games and stuff like that. And yeah, it was, sorry, Bruno, you didn't get your 100, but it was a positive for me, I guess.
Oh, that's classic. So you obviously didn't grow up in New Zealand. You're Sydney born and raised.
Yeah.
Give us a bit more of a background into your upbringing. I know your dad was a rugby league legend, 150 NRL games, was it?
Yeah, 150 for my old man. But yes, grew up in Sydney, played every sport under the sun, cricket, rugby union, rugby league, golf, swimming, athletics, just everything I just loved it.
Yeah.
Actually was a cricketer growing up. That was, all I wanted to do. That was the dream, was play cricket for Australia. And I always played league in the winter, cricket in the summer. And then not until I went to Trinity Grammar School did I start playing rugby union, so in year 7.
Oh, far out. You hadn't played it till then?
No, just league and cricket. And then, went to Trinity mainly for my cricket, but played rugby as well. And then, just started, was never like a standout rugby player. I think I lacked a bit of size, and, athleticism is probably not my strong point.
What position were you?
I bounced around halfback, 12, fullback, 10. And then was playing halfback kind of more towards the end, and then played fly half in year 11 and 12. Cricket kind of fell by the wayside. I just kind of fell out of love with it. You kind of spend your whole weekends on the cricket field, and I think cricket is one of the hardest sports to make it in Australia.
Right.
It is so competitive, and I just probably wasn't good enough in the end, and kind of stopped playing in year 11 and 12, and then was kind of focusing on league and union, and then league, actually signed with league first with the Tigers, just kind of on an under-20s deal, and then ended up making some Aussie schoolboy side for union and started to really enjoy my union, and then spoke to the Tigers about, where I kind of fit and what position, and they had me as a hooker, which is where I was playing, and I wanted to play in the halves because of my experience playing fly half in union. And then they just saw me as hooker, and then, got signed by Rugby Australia and the Tars on kind of like a development deal with 7s and 15s, and then just kind of went from there.
Far out.
But yeah, I also got 3 little brothers who I grew up with, so a pretty chocolate block house.
Yeah. 4 boys.
4 boys. Shared a room till I was like 16, 17.
With how many of them?
Just one other. So yeah, it was pretty chaotic. I don't know how my mum did it, but we all loved sport, and Dad was obviously a pivotal figure in us coaching a lot of our teams, and just kind of a typical Aussie upbringing, I guess.
Yeah. Did he ever push you into league or try and get you to be into the league?
Not at all. I think they were actually more disappointed when I stopped playing cricket.
Oh, really?
Especially my mum, she loved me playing cricket, and when I stopped playing that, that was probably a little bit tough for them. But then Dad never pushed me either way. he started to gain a real appreciation for rugby union the more he watched it, and he absolutely loves it now. Don't want to put words in his mouth, but might watch it a little bit more than he does league, actually. So massive. We're obviously a massive Tigers supporters, so it hasn't been a great decade for us. But yeah, he loves his rugby now and really appreciates the skill and understand it. So he never pushed me either way.
Yeah. So other than falling out of the game of league, was it ever close for that to become a profession? Were you making like the rep teams, the Australian teams? Or?
Nah. I again, it was kind of the same as my rugby. I was never like a superstar when it came to league or union growing up. It wasn't until like year 12 in union when I started to make some rep teams.
Yeah.
But then league, I was just playing for the Tigers, SG Ball, and was about to go into their under-20s squad. But definitely still would have had some work to do.
Yeah.
And I think now the skills I picked up in union definitely would have helped me in that league transition for sure.
Yeah. What was your work ethic like as a kid? Were you
well,
to the game?
I had to be.
Yeah.
For me, as I said before, might be selling myself short, but I don't really see myself as being super talented when it comes to rugby or rugby league. I think cricket, hand-eye coordination, I was always really, really good at, like golf and cricket and stuff like that, but didn't really quite have the athleticism. I think all my brothers got it because they're all bigger than me, stronger than me, faster than me, all three of them, and they're all younger than me. So I always felt like for me to kind of do well, I always had to work really hard, and I think my dad and mum kind of built that in me and from a young age, and then it's definitely something that I pride myself on now in order to just keep getting better.
Yeah. Oh, because I read something where it said that you were one of the most talented Australian athletes in history. Like, it was awesome at cricket. Could have played NRL, Super Rugby, all at the age of 19. Everyone wanted your signature, so you must be selling yourself a little bit short.
Maybe a little bit. I wouldn't say everyone wanted my signature, but definitely had a couple of options in sport, and loved cricket, union league, loved it all. Yeah. And I encourage any parents, I guess, to get their kids into as many sports as they can. I think it has so many benefits, and I think it's helped me in the long run, doing all those different sports for sure.
Yeah, I hear it on here all the time, guys who are doing the multi-sport.
Yeah.
Just feel like they learn so much, whether it's rowing and they're building their engine or whether it's cricket and it's hand-eye.
It all contributes, doesn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
Look at the byproduct, mate. We've got an absolute number 10.
I guess so.
And then I guess when you decided to go down the union path, because you'd signed with the NRL or the Tigers, you'd said, on what was that, like a 20s?
It was like
contract?
a 20s. It was not definitely not for a lot of money.
Was that when they were playing 20s? They had the 20s comp?
Yeah, it was like Jersey. Flag was. It wasn't the NYC. It was like just the New South Wales Rugby League comp. So just the New South Wales teams. But yeah, it was just 20s.
Yeah. So was it a hard decision to then leave that and go to union? Was it the Waratahs who came calling? Yeah,
Waratahs and RA through the sevens, because I actually kind of got my foot in the door through sevens. I played for Australia youth under 18s in the global U7s, and they were keen to get me, and that was kind of how I started playing rugby, I guess, a little bit more. And Waratahs, we're definitely keen to get me in the academy, but I think it was more so that the sevens that kind of allowed me to start playing rugby. In terms of a decision, I think I looked at the academy at TARS and the sevens and the program that they had. I think it was a bit more superior to that of the 20s at the Tigers, just simply because there were so many kids doing the 20s stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously it's really hard to keep the quality when there's so many kids doing. Whereas I looked at the TARS, there was 20 to 25 guys in the academy for the whole state. We were training, so much. It was really professionally run. And then I had obviously the token of training with the sevens full-time men's squad twice a week as well. So I was doing 2 days at sevens, 2 days in the academy. So I had the benefit of being in a professional environment and being in the academy at TARS, and I think that just really appealed to me. But the biggest thing was playing fly half.
Yeah.
I loved playing in the halves, playing fly half, and I wanted to kind of see if I could play half back in league, and they didn't see it. But I think in the end, I just really enjoyed playing rugby. Maybe it was because I was playing hooker in league and getting run over for fun. As a speed hump in the middle.
Having to make 50 tackles.
Oh, mate, I got red hair, got a beacon on my head in the middle of the field, blokes trying to pick me out. But I just really enjoyed rugby and the nature of it, and I guess that was kind of what sold me in the end.
Yeah, you can't say you're unathletic and then be in the Aussie sevens side at 19.
I still to this day think that I would have struggled on the sevens field.
Did you never get on the field?
I kind of pulled out of the sevens before I kind of had the opportunity to play in the World Series. So I did a pre-season.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess they kind of wanted to keep me on, but I just kind of saw my future as being more with the 15s.
Yeah.
And I think that just appealed to me a little bit more. So I never really even progressed into the season. I said I'm pretty keen to just focus on 15s now, and just stuck with the academy at Tars and started playing grade footy at Eastwood.
Yeah, and it sounded like you have always wanted the keys. You've always wanted to be the number 10.
Yeah.
Be in charge of the side that you're playing for.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where my strengths kind of lie. I feel pretty comfortable presenting in front of a group and speaking in front of a group, and I guess I'm a very routine, organised individual, and I think as a 10 you kind of have to be a little bit to kind of get the game plan, and run the boys around the field to the best of your ability. So I think it's kind of always just suited my nature.
Yeah.
And then the aspect of, as a fly half, there are so many things. You have to be kind of pretty solid and steady at everything on the football field. Catch, pass, your tackle, your kick. Obviously, every skill in rugby, apart from maybe line out and scrum. You got to have your head around. So, which is something that I really, really enjoyed as well, because it just meant there's so much stuff for me to do. So I definitely love playing 10.
Were you always good at presenting or comfortable speaking in front of groups? Because that's always a skill that I see a lot of young 10s come in, know the game really well, but when they have to get up the front and try and tell the team, and sell the game plan, all that sort of side of it that people don't see, it can be quite challenging.
I'm not saying I guess I was never thrown into that position as a young guy coming into a professional environment, and you got all these guys that you look up to, these grown men. It is definitely difficult to try and tell them what to do, and I definitely am not sitting here and saying that I could do that and did that, because I definitely was a learning curve for me. But at school and coming up through the grades and stuff like that, I always felt pretty comfortable, public speaking and presenting. And I think it brings us back to that point about playing different sports. I was playing men's grade cricket when I was 15.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and just having that experience for me, playing against and with men, I guess just made me more comfortable in those environments. And then, playing for Eastwood first grade when I was 19, running them around the park, just experiences that I've had have definitely helped in that regard. But I definitely think it's something that I guess comes a little bit more naturally to me.
Yeah, because then it was the following year you're in the Waratahs squad, only 20 years old.
Yeah.
Playing with some of your heroes that you probably watched on TV.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like for you?
Oh, mate, it was I remember driving to training for pre-season, young and naive, obviously not knowing what I'm about to get myself into with pre-season, but just absolutely over the moon, stoked, so excited to just get in there and just start working. And the Tars did a great job, with me in the academy. I was kind of in and out a couple of times of the full-time sessions, and with those boys in and out, playing a few Waratahs seconds games and stuff like that. So the transition was made a little bit easier, and it was also made a little bit easier by the fact that we had such a young squad that year, and I think it showed now in our results. We had a really, really tough year, and we were probably underdone and probably weren't ready on reflection. So I guess it basically felt like the academy, but we were playing for the Tars because we were just 21, 20 years of age, having a great time.
Yeah.
But again, probably weren't ready.
And poor old Rob Penny.
Yeah, poor Rob. We definitely, it came off the back of COVID as well, right? So we lost obviously some big names, and it made that it kind of accelerated that transition for us a lot more than probably what was predicted. And it made things really difficult that year for sure.
Yeah. What was the quickest thing you learned playing Super Rugby at that age?
Just everything is just amplified, like the line speed, for me was probably a big shock, and just the speed of it, and I guess the intensity of it. For me, like I kind of found myself just standing deeper and deeper just because I was just uncomfortable with the speed that was coming. And
Yeah.
that was always a part of something I prided myself on my game, was being flat and trying to play and engage the line. I just found myself getting a bit deeper. So probably just that aspect, it's just everything just speeds up. Your decision-making time is just cut in
Yeah.
half. And then I think it gets cut in half again when you play at test level, and it's another challenge there.
Yeah. And one game that I always remember, well, probably the first game I remember seeing you was that Crusaders famous victory where you beat them at Leichhardt Oval,
Yep,
was it?
yep.
Was that one of your first starts, or was it a special occasion for you? Because I just remember the emotions after the game,
Yeah.
how passionate you were. Just remember thinking, man, that's cool.
It don't worry, the boys definitely let me know about it. I think that crying video gets sent into a group chat every few months. But for me, it was there was so many aspects that went into it. I grew up in the inner west, so right around the corner from Leichhardt Oval. My old man played almost all his footy at the Balmain Tigers at Leichhardt.
Yeah.
I remember doing countless reps of kicking down at Leichhardt number 2, just down the road, trying to kind of get to that moment. And I think it was like maybe my 3rd or 4th start for the Waratahs, and I had like 20 or 30 friends and family in the stands, obviously being so close to home. And then to get a win against what was the best team in the competition and has been the best team for a long time, was obviously just a lot of emotion for me. And I think I was also just so exhausted from just trying to get the win that I just couldn't hold it back. And then, it kind of just came out, and it got pretty emotional. But that was a really, really special moment for me, just for all those reasons.
Yeah, so cool, eh? Like seeing a young kid fulfill his dream of playing at the stadium he's always wanted to for a team. And like you say, beating a team of probably guys you'd looked up to as well. I'm not sure if you're a big All Blacks fan or like you looked up to many of those guys.
There was one thing about that game though, Richie Mo'unga was resting.
Oh,
so
okay.
If he was playing, I'm sure it might have been a bit of a different result, but I'm happy that he wasn't.
Was he someone you always looked up to?
Yeah. The thing was, I didn't really put my mind towards rugby until I made that decision when I was probably 17, 18. I was always kind of cricket, and then bit of league and then union. I was like, right, this is what I want to do. So it was kind of the guys playing during that time that I really like. For example, like Dan Carter is obviously someone that was a great, but I didn't really watch a lot of rugby and idolise it until a bit later in my life. And so people like Richie Mo'unga and Bowden Barrett, Owen Farrell were guys that I definitely watched a lot of. And Richie was definitely one of those. So it would have been obviously really cool for me to play him, but I don't know if he would have got the win if he was. So
you may not have got that moment.
Correct.
He was so influential for them during those years. I remember the percentage when he didn't play compared to when they played.
And he's coming back now, so it should be good.
Hopefully that percentage goes right back to where it was. And then what was the sort of progression from there? Waratahs over the next couple of years?
Yeah, it was I think that 2022 year was a really good year for me, and then I kind of made the Aussie A squad and was kind of a whisker away from making the end of year Wallabies squad, just didn't quite get there.
And you were what, 21
at the time. And then, was a whisker away from that. And then 2023 with the Waratahs, it was a bit of a rollercoaster year for me. I think I maybe got it wrong in terms of how much. I think I overworked a little bit in the breaks and got an overuse injury in my back. I got a stress fracture that kind of got a bit inflamed from which apparently I had when I was young from all the cricket I was playing. So that kind of.
Were you a bowler?
No, I did bowl a fair bit for young, but I was more of a batter. But I think it kind of emerged then. Well, that's what they think. And then just overtraining, overworking, that got aggravated, and that kind of kept me out for, I guess, a big chunk of 2023. In saying that, I probably wasn't playing my best footy for that reason. I think my mindset was, a little bit too intense, and probably wasn't as relaxed as I could have been, and wasn't playing as well. And then 2024, again, a bit of a roller coaster year. We didn't have the best of seasons, and then kind of at the end of the year, kind of was off contract with the Tars. There was a new coach coming in. We weren't sure who the coach was, and I was like, well, I want to play some quality footy, and that's when I made the decision to go to NPC.
Yeah.
Just to try and something new, try and keep developing and get a different taste and different coaches, different experiences. So I went to NPC and had a really, really positive season, and then was lucky enough to get picked by Joe for the end of year spring tour, which was obviously a really big roller coaster year, and then 2025, the year just gone, again, another roller coaster year for me. So it's been lots of highs and lots of lows, in and out of teams, and just been pretty lucky injuries wise, but one injury in there, test matches here and there, and then finished the year last year positively from an individual standpoint. Played a fair few test matches, which was really cool. But as a team, as the Wallabies, we didn't finish the year the way we wanted to, which was disappointing. But then, signed at the Brumbies and drove down the Hume to Canberra, and that's where I've been the last couple of months.
Yeah, good. I want to go back to when you said you were a bit intense, and hearing you talk about how you looked so relaxed in the NPC compared to those sort of 2 years where you've called yourself intense. What did that intense look like?
As I said before, I think my work ethic and discipline was something that I prided myself on, and something that almost became a negative for me during those times. I think I was too rigid, really not flexible, adaptable at all. And, I think having a really good year in 2022 where I was quite young and just enjoying my footy and playing and playing well, I just really wanted to back that up. And I kind of went into it, didn't really have much of a break, kept training, over kicking, all that sorts of stuff. Got a bit tunnel visioned and didn't really have much else going on in my life. I didn't really have many hobbies, and all I wanted to do was, try and get better at footy. And it sounds like a good thing, but it definitely can get past a point where it's not beneficial for you as an individual. And I think it got to that point, and I wasn't exactly enjoying my footy. I wasn't really playing well. And it's taken a lot of learnings from the universe for me to kind of change my ways, and I'm still trying to evolve, and to realise that, there is a life outside of footy.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have a life outside of footy. And that's one thing that I probably didn't understand at the time, but still something that I'm building. And don't get me wrong, working hard and having routine and stuff is really important, I still believe. But it can't become everything.
Yeah. So you came over to North Harbour, got on the piss with
Bryn
Hall, and
I guess you could say that. But that's like, again, it was just a really relaxed environment. And I think the coaching group at North Harbour, Ben Afiaki, Kenny, and Rua really gave me the confidence and the environment to flourish. And essentially, like we said before, did give me the keys. And I took a lot of confidence from that, and then took a lot of confidence from blokes helping me, like Sean Stevenson, Cam Silfuller, Bryn Hall, and then having that balance off the field, as we spoke about. Obviously, it might be having a few beers, but it also might be playing a bit of golf, or, if you're trying to pick up a few hobbies, a bit of uni, like whatever it is, just trying to get away from the game can be really awesome as well.
Yeah. So then on the back of that, you mentioned Joe called you in.
Yeah.
What was that moment like for you?
Yeah, it was crazy. Like the whole NPC, I was actually kind of on standby a little bit, on edge. Like I'd get a couple calls because of injuries happening in the rugby championship, and have your passport ready and getting calls. And I remember I was living with Ben Grant, who's at the Tars now. My phone's sitting there and it's like, just says Joe Schmidt calling me, and he looks at me and he's like that. And I'm like, oh God. But didn't quite get over during that time. And then I kind of had a feeling that I was a chance after my NPC when the spring tour squad came out. And then, lucky enough to be named in that squad, which was a massive moment for me and my family, and called my old man and my mum straight away and let them know. And they were obviously over the moon. And the first person I actually ran into after I got named was Ben Donaldson, who was, I was going to the beach to hang out with him. And he, even though we've kind of been competing for so long, he's one of my best mates. And I look at him and go, have you got an email yet? And he looks at me and goes, have you got an email yet? and we're just not sure if we're both in or not because you don't want to give the bad news to each other.
Yeah.
And I go, I got one. He's like, yeah, I got one as well. And then we were absolutely stoked. We were both in because we like to room together as well. But yeah, it was just a really, really cool moment that all that hard work and learnings kind of cultivated into that point.
Yeah. Did you feel good enough once you went in?
Be honest, probably no. I mean, I think there's always a learning curve and I think you kind of learn on the run and it's obviously a new level and a new step that you have to try and get to. And I think there's a period of time before you become comfortable with that. And I mean, Joe was really good with me in the sense that I didn't play a lot. He didn't throw me in there straight away and let me kind of build and get comfortable in the environment. And as we spoke about before, you have to be comfortable with the boys in the team if you want to tell them what to do as a 10.
Yeah.
And you need to earn that respect. You can't just come in there and start barking orders from the get-go because boys like Slips and stuff will tell you where to go.
Is he the enforcer?
No, he's definitely not the enforcer, but he's probably the biggest dog I can think of in terms of caps and stuff like that. But blokes like that, you need to earn their respect, and that comes from training and preparation. And that was my sole purpose. I didn't really care if I didn't play. I just wanted to try and get better as much as I could and try and just see where I get to in terms of my development. And then was lucky enough to get a game off the bench and didn't go to plan exactly. Got knocked out after 2.5 minutes.
That's right.
Which was devastating. But I got my Wallabies cap, and no one can really take that away from me. So that was really special.
Yeah. What was that? What was that like? Was that your first moment in the game?
I had a kickoff.
Yeah.
Which as a fellow 10, having a first involvement as a kickoff is not super fun.
How much sticky stuff did you have on your hands?
Well, that's the thing. I try to avoid the sticky stuff because it gets stuck to the ball and you can't kick it.
It's the worst.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, right, just try and get this kick somewhere. Don't kick it out in the full. And I get that kick away and it goes well. And I kind of get through the game a little bit, like a minute or two goes by. Then there's a midfield scrum and I'm on the left side and I try and track this Henshaw, Robbie Henshaw, big boy.
Yeah.
And just kind of got my head a little bit in the wrong spot and got his hip and knocked me out for, I think it was maybe like 5 seconds.
Okay.
But the funny thing was when I came to, had no symptoms whatsoever. Like I was completely fine. So I saw the trainer in front of me and I was really confused. I'm like, what are you doing here?
Oh, true.
But I did not know that I'd been knocked out for 5 seconds, also stumbled for about 10 meters before the trainers got to me and they're like, mate, you're done. And then I just couldn't believe it. That's just, you picture your debut coming off the bench, all these scenarios run through your head. You don't really
That's not the scenario.
No, that's not what you want. So
you didn't remember anything happening. So you're just thinking that you'd made a tackle.
I remember all my involvements. There weren't many, but I remember all my involvements up until that point, and then don't remember the tackle, obviously, but then everything else was completely fine. No symptoms. Like I think even my HIA was fine.
Past it.
But yeah, it was just obviously knocked clean out.
Oh, that's crazy. And then you get your cap presented and you're feeling all right. You're not groggy or anything.
No, I was feeling fine. Yeah, it just didn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
I think one thing after them, I don't know if it was my emotions, like just genuine emotions or just being emotional from the concussion, but I did struggle a little bit for a couple of days after in just terms of how it felt and everything. And then when I got off the plane and saw my old man at the airport, then I kind of started to realise how cool it was and started to feel way more positive about the experience.
Oh, that's cool. And did you play the following weeks?
Nah, that was the last game of the tour. So it was on the plane flying home, and not an ideal place to be when you're not feeling great because it's just dark. You're looking at a TV screen. There's no real dopamine at all.
Yeah.
But then once I came off, I was good.
Yeah, and then you mentioned, was it 2025, another sort of roller coaster year for you, in and out, never quite able to secure a spot, but having some good moments in the jersey as well.
Yeah, I mean, it started, I guess, at the Tars. Again, probably another learning for me was, I got dropped after 2 games at at the Tars, which was a bit of a shock, and then was on the bench for a little bit. Got dropped completely out of the team for a couple of games where I was playing club footy for Eastwood, and then kind of came back in and finished the season with the Tars, and then for obvious reasons, Joe just couldn't pick me. I hadn't played enough footy, and I completely understood that, and just tried to get the most out of what I was doing, which was playing club footy, and got the chance to play for AUNZ, which was really cool against the Lions. Played off the bench for the Tars against the Lions. Got to play them twice.
What was that week like playing for that side?
It was so fun. It was so cool as well. Just like so much talent, like in that team, and it was a shame that we probably didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare and probably produce a better performance than we did. But the chance to play with some of those players and players that you normally verse for Super Rugby and get to know them on a more personal level was something that was so cool. Yeah. And then the coaching staff of Les Kiss and Ian Foster, having Fozzie as well was, the boys would make jokes, but I'd be chewing his ear off. Just trying to and he loves to talk about rugby as well. So, we'd be talking about everything under the sun when it comes to rugby, but that was obviously something that was so cool as well.
What a moment. What, any of those players impressed you as people or players?
Nani Laumape was a legend, and I mean, they were all legends. Like Fly-halves and a cool character. Got to play with Shawnee, and like AJ Lamb, is someone that is really impressive as well. And then it was Shannon Frizzell I got to play with, which was really cool. Hoskins Tutu, like just all these really great players just coming together. And it was a bit of I was pretty lucky to be there.
You got a couple of cracks at the Lions too. You got to play against them with the Waratahs. How was that one?
Yeah, that was obviously really cool. I mean, they only come every 12 years, and Allianz Stadium was completely packed out, and that was awesome. And then AUNZ playing at Adelaide Oval, like you never really be able to play rugby game at Adelaide Oval, and then to play in front of 50,000 for AUNZ against the Lions. Yeah, it was just another unbelievable experience. So I've been pretty lucky.
Yeah, the Lions fans are next level too.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
The way they travel.
Yeah,
the noise.
It's so cool.
Yeah, but obviously you would have been disappointed not to be part of
the
Wallabies series, and what a cool series that was.
Yeah, that was pretty disappointing. But again, I think the learnings that I kind of had throughout the season after getting dropped at the Tars and stuff like that, I think I had a different perspective. Again, another perspective shift again where obviously I was really disappointed, but I was just trying to stay present and just enjoy what I had, and I was still really grateful for what I had in terms of I was still playing footy for a living. Still with my best mates at training every day. And I was still playing the game that I love. And I was managed to find some real positive during that time and have a really good time, and which I think was really good for me. But that not playing in that Lions series for the Wallabies, I mean it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So obviously you want to be there, but it just the cards just didn't fall my way.
Yeah, was it during that time you weren't playing for the Waratahs, you started negotiating with the Brumbies? Is that sort of where this opportunity came about?
I think I knew I was kind of coming off contract, and I guess for me, my mindset's always been that's up to my manager to sort out and in the background. And I always just say like the best job that I can do is to try and play the best footy that I can, and he sorts out the rest. So I'm not sure what the conversations were with him in the background during that time. But I guess it kind of also came through towards the end of the season, having to make a decision there and then not making one until after the season was done. But I think I had a great 5 years at the Tars. They gave me my crack, and I'm super grateful for that. I've got some great mates there, but I just think it was time for a fresh start at the Brums.
Yeah. Did you spoken to Stephen Larkham or many of the Brumbies boys around the potential move?
I obviously knew a lot of the Brumbies boys just through the Wallabies stuff and had conversations with them. And Charlie Cale, I've known since we were, 18 as well in the academy and at Eastwood together. And, he was always trying to get me to come across and...
he can play.
Mate, talk about talent. Wow. He's going to be really good. Well, he already is really good. He's going to be even better. But yeah, they've had a couple of conversations with Bernie, I guess, towards the end of the year, just talking about, you know, what he sees and the opportunity. But again, I didn't really want to think about it too much until the season was over, and then I guess make it then.
And what's the differences you found since moving down? Obviously, the Brumbies have been there or thereabouts for a long time. They seem to be the top Australian side. They have been for a long time.
Yeah.
What have you noticed moving down there?
Mate, I think a lot of footy sides are very similar. I mean, the cultures are very similar. Everyone's a really good bloke. You know, the coaches are just obviously can be really different. And I think for me, Bernie's pretty quirky, but he's very relaxed. And we obviously have such a strong leadership group there with boys who have played for a long time, and they're obviously great for us. And you know, obviously we lost a fair few boys in terms of Lenny, Noah, Tom Hooper, blokes who have been really big for the club. But then, you know, the academy that the Brumbies have, you know, young guys like Caden Pritchard, Clayton Thorne, Dan Nelson, just young guys who just kind of come straight in, who know the Brumbies way and don't really skip a beat. So it's been really cool to see those younger guys kind of come through. But in terms of environments, I think, everyone works hard.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be the best, and I don't think there's too many differences there.
Yeah, have you found living in Canberra?
It's quiet compared to Sydney, which I really don't mind. The one tough thing for me, which the boys like to rib me about, is I love the ocean. I love the beach.
Oh, yeah.
So I was living in Sydney's east, and I used to be at Bronte almost every day. Every chance I could get, I'd be down having a swim or having a coffee down there. So I used to love the beach. Obviously, not many beaches in Canberra, but I've just subbed it in for a bit of golf. So I've been playing a lot of golf lately, trying to get the handicap down. And
what's your handicap?
16 at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
So a bit of work to be done.
Yeah.
Love to get it under 10, but starting to play a fair bit now. Picked up a bit of uni, but yeah, Canberra's quiet, very spaced out in terms of it's just almost highway everywhere.
Yeah.
No traffic, which is a nice change from Sydney. And but one thing that I've noticed is the boys are obviously all so close because a lot come from interstate as well, and we all hang out with each other a fair bit. So, mate, it's definitely a little bit more quiet, but I'm loving it for sure.
Oh, how good! And there's a big couple of years for Aussie rugby coming up. Obviously the World Cup, home World Cup in 2027.
Yeah.
Is that a massive goal for you, or where do you sort of sit with that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious to say that you want to be playing in a home World Cup, and deep down, I definitely want to be there.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in saying that, but I think for me, I try not to think too far ahead. I think at the end of the day, that sort of stuff's pretty uncontrollable.
Yeah.
It's not my decision to be in that squad or not. But for me, it's about trying to, as I said a couple of times, try and get better every single day, and try and execute my role in this Brumbies side as well as I can, whether it's on the bench or starting, or trying to get the starters ready for the game or whatever it may be. Just trying to get better as a footballer, and then hopefully the rest takes care of itself. But yeah, I'd be pretty naive to say that I don't want to be at that next World Cup.
Yeah, and a nice squad seems to be building on that side of the Tasman.
Yeah.
Look at Jorgensen at the moment, man. He's freakish, isn't he?
He's a freak. He came in as an 18-year-old, and first training session, I watched him. I'm like, wow, just someone that just moves different. The balance that he shows when he runs the ball, when he changes direction, he doesn't change speed at all. He's so strong through his core. He's really strong in the gym, which people might not see.
Oh, yeah.
He's very strong. But the one thing that people probably wouldn't realise is his mental side of his game, water off duck's back, everything. He is so composed, so clear-headed, and so confident.
Yeah.
And he came in as an 18-year-old, whereas I was just looking at him being in a team meeting, being I'd be flipping right now. It's not easy. But he just knows that, what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And always present, doesn't even think about failure, and it just shows by the way he plays. And I think he's going to have a pretty big year, I reckon.
Yeah, man, he's on track to have a massive one.
Yeah.
And what about someone like Joseph Suoliti, like someone who would have come into the environment when you were there?
Again, someone who people might not see just the professionalism he shows.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the most disciplined professional, players I've seen, and someone who knows that he's talented but doesn't want to waste it. And just really sensible, makes really, really good decisions, big family man, and again, just someone who just comes in just trying to get better.
Yeah.
And another person who's just like physically gifted, like fast, strong, big.
Yeah.
Jump. Can jump, like just one of those guys that you just look at and I just wouldn't even think about if I had that sort of talent. Like it's unbelievable. But
that's why you say you're unathletic.
Because I've got blokes like him and Jorgo that I look at every day. But those two guys, like their biggest strength lies in, I think, what they do off the field, to be honest. And that's why they've been so successful and why I'm sure they'll keep being successful.
Yeah, how good's that? And what about someone like Angus Crichton, who probably comes from a background that you're well aware of?
Yeah.
Coming over to give the Union game a go. What are you expecting there from him?
I wouldn't say I'm looking forward to tackling him next year. I don't know what position he's going to play, but if he's playing...
a midfielder as
a
junior, right?
I'm not sure if he'll play in the back row or 12. I imagine it will be in the centres somewhere. But yeah, he was a centre at Scots College and he was obviously really impressive.
Yeah. Is he about your age?
No, he's a bit older than me. I'd say 2 or 3 years older.
Oh, okay.
But he's going to be... He's got that rugby background, so he's going to be... I think he'll make that transition pretty easily. And he's just an amazing ball carrier, which every side needs. And I'm sure he's going to be that for the next few years.
Yeah, exciting times for Australian rugby.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially with you at the helm. Now that James O'Connor's surely moved on. How'd you find him, by the way?
Mate, he was another person who was great for me, just because of his perspective. I mean, he's been through it all, right? On and off the field, he's learnt so many lessons, and he's got such a great perspective on the game.
Yeah.
But again, very professional and would help me as much as he could. And I'd sit at dinner and try and ask him a few questions, and get a few stories out of him and whatnot. But he was awesome for me just to watch him go about his business and again, just someone who loves his rugby. Yeah. It's just a genuine love of the game.
I can imagine you two talking code. You guys would go forever.
Yeah, I think he loves it more than me. Like he genuinely loves the game, and it was just so cool to see.
Yeah, it's hard to love rugby union more than O'Connor.
Yeah,
man, he is. You get him going, and he's
100%.
He's away.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but you mentioned your study before. Is that something you're thinking life after rugby? What are you studying? What are your plans life after footy?
I'm studying sport and exercise management.
Yeah.
I'm almost done. It's taken me a long time to try and knock it off. For obvious reasons, just with the travel and stuff makes it really difficult. But picked up a few subjects again this semester, which has been really good. I've found it hard to get stuff done recently, but shout out to Robin Duff at the Brumbies, the PD for us. She's moved mountains to get me signed up at UC for a subject, University of Canberra. So, yeah, doing 2 subjects there, and I think I would love to stay in sport. I mean, post rugby, being a coach is definitely something that might interest me. I'm not sure if you want to comment. It seems like a lot of work.
Mate, if you love the game like you do, I think...
It seems like a lot of work. But we'll see, we'll see where I'm at, where I'm done. But I can definitely see myself staying in the rugby space or sports space. But, that could change over the next few years. You never know. But yeah, just want to kind of get my studies done, try and get something behind me and just to even just say that I've, done my degree is pretty cool. So yeah, just trying to knock that off slowly.
Mate, you are a legend. Well, we have gone to the Instagram.
Yeah.
Got about 1,000 questions coming for you.
Yep.
You are a crowd favourite on this side of the world. Everyone's favourite Aussie, I think. What's the difference between playing in New Zealand and Australia? That one came in maybe 3 or 4 times.
Something I get asked actually a lot.
Yeah.
Again, footy teams are definitely all very similar, but one thing I noticed was the social side or the connection off the field. And, for example, like I had probably one of the better flats, me, Ben Grant and Monty, one of the better flats in the North Shore. So our house always seemed to be where everyone showed up after the game or after a Tuesday training session for Carver. But like, for example, after a game, like there's 40 people in my house.
Yeah.
Like the whole team, the partners, the coaches, all enjoying each other's company. And that was just kind of really normal and probably not something that I saw heaps of in Sydney. I think it comes down to everyone's also kind of got their own lives in Sydney and everyone's got families and
Yeah. And you're so much more spread out.
correct.
You feel
Exactly. They're grown and everyone's grown up in Sydney and they've all got their kind of own lives. So it can be hard to get everyone together. But that was one thing that I noticed. And it's just differing styles, right? Like, especially, I can only speak about what it was like at North Harbour, but just differing styles in how they want to. I think you can obviously comment more, but I think at North Harbour there was a big focus on moving the ball to space and being quite happy with one-on-ones in space. And I mean, when you got blokes like Moses Leo, Cade Banks, Sean Stevenson, like you'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah.
And I think it was just a little bit more simplified in that sense, a little bit more and creativity was definitely encouraged. Whereas in Australia, I think we're a little bit more structured and in the way we play, and I think that suits us as Aussies.
Yeah.
And it's just differing identities, right?
Yeah.
But that social side of things was definitely really cool.
Would you ever do it again?
NPC? Oh yeah,
If it
I think I would if it was something that I was able to do, depending on what time in my career. I definitely enjoy, another stint there. It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, how good. Okay. Greatest all-time ginger athlete?
This is a real niche one, but Andrew McDonald, the current Australian cricket coach.
Oh, yeah.
The all-rounder.
Oh, yeah.
He was always a classic. And having the last name McDonald, like Ronald McDonald, is always famous for. Keith Galloway from the Tigers.
Oh, yeah.
Big,
that's someone I know.
The big galloping prop.
Yeah.
He's one. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll look in those two.
Yeah.
Okay. Ask him how his mate Dan Carter helped his game.
My mate Dan Carter definitely wouldn't classify me. He wouldn't classify me as his mate. But yeah,
it can be a one-way.
Yeah, I had the privilege of doing a Zoom with Dan a while ago now.
That's a mate.
Nah, I think it was through Adam Ashley Cooper. I reached out because I knew they were actually mates, and I was able to do a Zoom with him and ask him a few questions as a young guy. But I think just watching him, how he plays and how he goes about his business. I mean, when you talk about a triple threat as a 10, like they don't get better than that. His run, pass, kick, defense was so strong. And then just kind of the way he went about his business from a professional standpoint was obviously really impressive. And he's obviously been through a lot of setbacks with injuries, and then to come back in that 2015 World Cup and play the way he did. Some of those drop kicks are just ludicrous. Think about that. But yeah, just observing, how he played and stuff that was obviously super influential for me.
No, that's cool. Cool, you got your Zoom.
Yeah.
How do you find working with Joe Schmidt?
Great. I mean, as someone who tries to get better every day, he's someone that holds you to that account.
Yeah.
Like he challenges you with everything that you do, and especially his fly-halves. He definitely pushes us to be better every day.
What does that look like?
Like just little stuff, like the smallest of details, like in a walkthrough in terms of your running line or your walking line.
Yeah.
He'll pick you up for it and make you do it again. Being just sparked. I think I spoke about this on the Coco show, but like being sparked all the time, just being ready and loaded all the time. He just challenges you in that aspect, but the detail in the way he thinks is just something that I've never seen before. And then when he challenges you with your core skill, your kick and your pass accuracy is just something that is just so important. And he's just challenging as a team every day, but the 10s especially, he's really hard on us, making sure that we're getting what we need to get done.
Shame that he's leaving the Wallabies.
Yeah, I think that's going to be that's obviously pretty tough, but I think he's put practices and principles and processes in place that are going to really carry us forward and hopefully remain, and I'm sure Les Kiss is definitely aware of what those things are. But I think we started to build a pretty clear identity in how we want to play and the standards that we expect, and I think he's left a lasting impression. So hopefully that continues long after he's gone. But that is going to be tough. But I think Les can do a great job as well, and bring a different perspective, I guess, to our game.
Yeah, Les is a good man and a good coach. I was lucky enough to have him at London Irish for a short period, but good mind of the game and a champion man.
Oh, let's really focuses on that connection piece as a team, and loves the boys being a nice tight knit group, and really buys into that. And I had him for AUNZ, and
of course,
he's pretty quirky in how he does that sort of stuff, but just I guess a nice little refreshing perspective coming in. And if we can carry over what we've learned from Joe and then pick up from Les, there, I think that's going to be great.
Oh, exciting times. Is he any relation to Grant Fox, dead set lookalike?
Grant Fox.
Do you know Grant Fox?
Ex-All Black.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Before you watching.
Is he a redhead as well?
No, he's not redhead, but some of us see similarity. No relation.
Is he good looking?
He's a good looking man.
I'll take that.
It's Ryan Fox's dad. Do you know the golfer?
Yes, I do know Ryan Fox.
It's his dad.
Oh, really? Well, we'll take that if he's good looking. Thank you, whoever that was.
Okay, would he ever consider playing NRL?
I think the short answer is yes.
Yeah.
I mean, situation depending, and
as long as you're in the halves.
Yeah, circumstances depending. I think, I don't know where I'm going to be in 2-3 years' time.
Yeah.
I don't know what my priorities are going to be, or so I think to say no would be, not realistic.
Yeah.
In saying that, I'm definitely committed to rugby, and trying to play in that World Cup in the short term. But in terms of in the long term, I don't think I can say no. It definitely would be an interesting and challenging experience to see how, and I loved seeing Marky Mark last year. Mark Nawaknitawazi, who I'd known since I was 6. I played.
Oh, really?
My dad coached Marky Mark at the Leichhardt Wanderers when we were really young, and I've known Mark for a long time. But to see what he did on the league field,
it was for him.
Oh, mate, it was unbelievable. I thought he was going to go well, mate, but not that well.
Yeah.
And it was disappointing to see Carter Gordon get injured. Like, I was really keen to see how he would go, but things didn't go his way there. But obviously a few Union boys coming across now, it would be really interesting to see how they go. I mean, there's so many arguments and debates around how they would go. It would be good to just see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see it in the future potentially, depending on circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah. At the Tigers, would it be Tigers or nothing?
Back to Leichhardt.
Get them a premiership
potentially. My dad would be stoked with that.
Okay. How does he handle the comment section that comes with international footy?
Yeah, I will say I'm very intentional in how I use social media. Like, when you message me on my main Instagram, I'm super deliberate with that sort of stuff. I have a private account that I kind of only use my public account for posting, and then I kind of jump off, and my private account is just my closest friends and family and stuff like that, and I use that majority of the time. And then 2 days out from a game, I'm a bit quirky, but I delete Instagram going into the game, just so I don't have those sort of outside influences. And it kind of was, I guess, a bit more extreme for me when I was playing for the Wallabies. It's obviously a bigger stage and a lot more eyes, and things didn't go our way. So you obviously see things that you don't want to, and I don't think you can pretend it's not there. But I definitely am deliberate in making sure that I'm not really looking at too much of that stuff.
Yeah. How does it affect you when you see it? Or was there a moment where you saw it and you're like, geez, I can't keep doing this?
Mate, we're only human, right?
Yeah.
Like, it does affect you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and say that it doesn't. Like, if you work so hard at something every week, and then, a rugby game doesn't go your way, you don't play overly well, and then, you see someone criticising your hard work, it's definitely difficult. Like, I'm not saying it's not, but I think the way you handle it is what's most important, and how you react, I guess. You can't let it, affect you too much. But I've definitely been pretty deliberate in in trying not to let that stuff into my space. But when it does slip through every now and then, it can hurt. But I think you got to keep your opinions that you take on, from a very small circle.
Yeah.
And as long as you kind of being disciplined with that, I don't think it's too bad.
So true though, eh? Like you won't know who this person is. Could be some absolutely hundy, and you're getting so cut up about it because you're reading it and you're thinking, is this what everyone's thinking? It's
tough.
Yeah,
it's definitely tough, but I guess that's the reality of professional sport.
Yeah.
And you got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah, I like how you've put a process in place to sort of manage it as much as you can. And
definitely.
Yes, nice. I like it. Good answer. What has been the proudest moment of your career?
I think obviously debuting for the Wallabies. I mean, that's obviously the most obvious one, and something that you work so hard for. But again, for me, I guess that is an outcome. And I think for me, I'm most proud of, I guess, how I've handled myself through adversity, I think, and times where I've been dropped, and things haven't gone my way. I think that's what I can look back on and be most proud of. I think I've remained pretty consistent with what I've held true to me and what I want to be known for. And, obviously there's times where I probably haven't been super proud of how I've been, but for the most part, I can look back and say that I'm pretty happy with how I've handled certain things. But in terms of like an achievement, the Wallabies is obviously a massive one. Even 50 games for the Waratahs, or 50 Super Rugby games, was pretty crazy. It kind of catches up on you a little bit. Like, I only felt like I debuted not long ago, and then to play 50 games was something that was really, really cool.
Goes quick, eh?
Oh, mate. Like, I got my roommate Dan Nelson calling me Unk. I'm 25. Like, he's 21, he's calling me Unk at home. I'm like, what has happened?
When did I get so
I
old?
know.
Best player you've played with?
Oh, best player I've played with. I think an underrated one that doesn't get the recognition he deserves is probably Jake Gordon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mate, his passing and kicking game is world class, like unbelievable. And I think people, again, we're talking about comments before, like people see the box kick, right?
Yeah.
And they think that the Nines are just choosing to box kick.
Hey, man, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why is he kicking all the time?
It's like, well, this is just how the game's evolved and this is the game plan, right? But Jake's ability to relieve pressure through his kick is some of the best I've seen. His pass, for years I had the luxury of just catching it right on my chest.
Yeah.
Every time, nice and flat and fast. So he's one for me that was probably doesn't get the recognition he deserves. He's a very, very good player.
Yeah.
Max Jorgensen.
Yeah.
Someone who I watch, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff, we used to joke at training that he's got magnets on his hands because he's one of those guys, like, he'll put a chip over. It always just seems to bounce back to him.
Yeah.
He just has that awareness.
It was like a young Bowden Barrett. I just felt like he'd always get that bounce.
Yeah.
Like just these special players.
Just the knack and the awareness to be in the right place at the right time. And he's definitely one of them. I think Sean Stevenson, we've spoken about, for me was obviously super impressive. And then a Fraser McWright.
Yeah.
Like his engine and his ability to influence a game at number 7 is crazy.
Yeah, he's a gunner. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, what a list. Okay, favourite 10 to watch?
Right now?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
I do love watching D-Mac.
Yeah.
I like to watch how he's just so exciting to watch. But then someone who like a Romain Ntamack.
Yeah.
I think he's a great player. But Bowden Barrett has obviously always been one that I've loved to watch.
Yeah.
Even just like some of the kick I love kicking.
Yeah.
And just seeing some of his kick passes, flat, hard, like done at ease. Like, it's just so good to watch. And he obviously is a little bit older now, and when he was younger, he had the speed, that electric speed. But you can just see his game's now evolved into a point where he's just a triple threat, and his kicking game is so dangerous.
Yeah. You're a rugby purist, aren't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely love
Definitely.
the kick pass. He does have a beautiful
Oh,
flat kick pass.
yeah.
Okay, what goes through your head lining up a clutch kick?
Oh,
They call him Mr. Ice.
not me. I've missed my fair share of game winners. Don't you worry. I think what you want is you want it to be the exact same as every other kick.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Whether you get that, it's different every time. But what you got to try and do is put processes in place that allow it to be consistent every time, and that you can fall back on in times like a clutch kick. So whether that's you got trigger words in your head, like I say things to myself when I'm lining up to kick that people always see in the TV, and they always ask me what I'm saying. I'm not telling anyone.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. But like, those are processes for me that from the moment you put the ball on the tee, you've got a process. And you have to try and stick to that and be consistent towards that with every kick. And then with the clutch kicks, it's even more important that you are so disciplined on it, because then other thoughts can start coming in, about missing kicks. And I think the important thing is if a thought does come in about missing a kick, you can't judge yourself for that, because I think that causes a spiral. So that's lining up and you're like, oh, if I miss this kick, this and this is going to happen. You just let it go in and out.
Yeah.
You don't beat yourself up for even having that thought. It's like, it just is what it is. It's just there. But I think my reaction to game-winning kicks has definitely changed over the years. I remember I had a really, really bad miss in a semi-final in club footy.
Oh, yeah.
I actually had 3 misses. So it was just a really bad last 5 minutes.
All game winners.
Yeah, so I was a skip, and I we'll tell everyone this. I had a penalty goal 42 out, 15 in, 5 minutes to go. Hit the right upright.
Oh,
It's like, it's all right. There's still 5 minutes.
yeah.
Had another one 40 out, 5 in from touch for a real big kick, and I backed myself again, and I dinked the crossbar, and it went underneath the crossbar.
Pretty
And
unlucky.
it was unlucky, but then he dropped it.
Oh, yeah.
So then we had a scrum right in front, and then I had a drop goal from in front and then missed that as well.
Off the scrum. Oh.
It was like, it was like there was a few phases, and then I went for it and missed it, and mate, I was distraught.
Yeah.
That was probably the first time where I've genuinely missed, a game winner, but more than one.
Yeah.
And my reaction was really poor. I was very emotional and devastated. And then, after that moment, I was like, if I miss a game winner again, I'm not going to react that way, because at the end of the day, again, I think it stemmed from, thinking that rugby was the be all end all,
Yeah, I was going to say.
Whereas now, I'll miss a kick. If it's a game winner, yeah, it's disappointing. There's no hiding that, but the sun's still going to come up tomorrow,
Yeah.
and I think depressurizing that's how you depressurize that kick, is knowing that okay, I put the work in, I'm going to stick to my process, I'm going to give this my best shot. The outcome, the sun's still going to come up tomorrow, whether I get it or I don't get it. And it might sound weird to some people, but I think as a kicker, I think you kind of got to have that mentality. And I never want to turn down the opportunity to kick a game-winning goal. I think that's what I've realized now. It's like I never want to not take it.
Yeah.
I'd rather take it and miss than have the opportunity and turn it down.
Yeah. Oh, how good's
I
that?
reckon. Yeah.
So when that whistle goes 40 out right in front, you're like, yes, and walk towards it, or you're a bit like,
oh yeah,
here we go.
I'm a little bit like,
yeah.
oh, here we go. Again, I say again, you're human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You're not going to just be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that being confident and going, yeah, give me the ball. I'm going to give this a crack. I'm not saying I'm not scared.
Yeah. Legs are
yeah, I am, but I'm still going to give it a crack, right? And no one can take that away from you. Thousands of people watching.
Yeah.
You were the one that stepped up and had a crack.
Yeah.
And no one else had the balls to do that, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
And I want it to go in, but if it doesn't, then I tried my best.
Yeah. I always thought you're the best man for the job. If you're the kicker, you're the best kicker in the team.
Yeah.
If anyone's going to get this kick, or anyone's got the best chance to get this kick, it's
exactly
you, right? So
exactly.
You just sort of got to live with that. But,
yeah.
Mate, you're wise beyond your years. Okay, last question. Best piece of advice for a Woodlad listener?
I think stay neutral. With whatever happens, good, bad outcome. Try and stay neutral. Don't ride the highs too high. Don't ride the lows too low, because, and I think on top of that, it's just being present, like not worrying about things that happened in the past, not worrying about the future too much, and trying to just stay in the moment. And I think that kind of leads into just being neutral and calm, and knowing that things aren't as bad as they might seem, or aren't as good as they might seem. But yeah, just that aspect of trying to be present. And however you do that, whether that's meditating, playing golf, doing chores around the house, just finding that time to relax. And
do you do a bit of meditation? You've got a real meditation mindset. I love it.
I definitely do. I definitely dive into that space of the mental skills stuff, and not just to benefit my rugby, just to benefit me as a person, and try and be as healthy as I can, because I think that is obviously going to flow onto the field, but it's not the sole reason I guess I do it. But I definitely see benefit in meditation and all that sort of stuff. I read lots of books about that sort of stuff. I'm really interested in it. And again, I just find it really interesting just to learn about how the brain works, and how I guess you can make your life that little bit better.
Yeah, mate. Well, I knew you were a lad coming on here, but you are a wise lad. That
Thank you.
mate, I've learned so much from this episode.
I appreciate that.
So awesome to get you on, mate. It's been a long time coming, but I'm a big fan of your work and looking forward to following your journey over the next few years, because 25, mate, you've got plenty of years.
Not an unk yet.
Yeah, well, you're not an unk yet. Plenty of years left, and like I said, really excited to follow your journey, and thanks for coming on, mate.
Awesome, really appreciate it. A lot of fun.
You're
Cheers.
a lad.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Thanks to Betcha for bringing you this episode. If you enjoyed it, please let me know what you thought of it in the comments.